Barry Odom's kind enough to join us. He's a friend, and he's the head coach at Purdue now. Purdue had one win last year, and Barry Odom was one win away from being in the playoff at UNLV. Coach, what were you thinking taking on another task like this? Good morning.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys. I hope y'all are doing great, and a lot of respect for both of you guys and what you've done over your careers, and certainly excited to join you this morning. And you look at, happy 4th to all your listeners, and I hope you guys have a great week. But you look at opportunities, and, some people look at challenges and problems. I choose to look the other way. I'm looking at the opportunities of what we can do at Purdue. Kind of the same, really, when we took over at UNLV, they had averaged 3 wins a season for the last 40 years. And that's a long, long time, wow. Obviously. But I didn't want to be defined. I didn't have anything to do with that past, the good or the bad. I didn't have anything to do with when Randall Cunningham was the starting quarterback there and Ickey Woods, when they had success in the early 80s. And I didn't have anything to do with when they went through the drought of being an awful program. I just wanted to be defined on from the moment I got the job and our staff got together and what we did from that day, every single day from there on. So, I again, long answer, but I look at opportunities and what you can transform the place with hope, vision, and belief. And then the process works every single time. When you recruit really good players, you've got great people surrounding them in every part of the organization. And then there becomes some validation with how you start to play, and those preparation habits pay off. So, we've been in 6 months at Purdue, and we're trending in the right direction. We've obviously got a monumental task leading up here in very short order, getting the season kicked off. But we're excited about it, and I tell our staff and our team all the time, man, it is a sprint with no finish line, and that's the way we approach every day. So we're excited about making progress, and what a great university, and obviously in the Big Ten Conference will be exciting as the schedule unfolds.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're at a spot now that, as Bo said, only won one game last year, but within the last 5 years, I guess, you've had a 9-win season. So you've got a little something to sell in terms of tradition there that maybe you didn't have out in Vegas.
Well, you look at, the opportunity. Purdue 3 years ago, when the Big Ten still had divisions, Purdue was in the Big Ten championship game. And then the last 2 years, they've obviously struggled for there's always reasons why, right? There's reasons that a team won one game, or there's a reason that the team is winning 6 and can't get over that hump. Whatever it is, there's always reasons. So I like to jump in and get your feet on the ground and identify those things, and let's go fix problems. And then you look at the storied success that Purdue has had over the years. It's known as the cradle of quarterbacks. I mean, you start with all the different quarterbacks over the years that have been at Purdue University. That is a selling point. They've had great defensive ends there. The tradition, even though they struggled last year, they sold out every home game. There is a passion and a hunger with the fan base that wants Purdue football to be back on a national stage, and that's what we're tasked to do, and we're going to get that done.
Well, the season, Coach, you had last year with UNLV was remarkable, and I know a lot of us were watching. I mean, you were playing on Friday nights or different times, being on the West Coast, and it was fun to watch you guys make a run. And congratulations on the success and the turnaround there. But I don't know if anything got more talked about than you riding a bull when the rodeo circuit was doing their thing in Vegas, as they do every year. And I just wonder, like, why? What happened?
How'd that happen?
Yes, how did it happen?
I wish that would go away, but I think you look at. I found out really quickly who my real friends were, because anybody that watched us last year, they were staying up late. We played 6 Friday night games. Yeah. The games were kicking off, at 9 o'clock Central Time. But what a great opportunity it was for us. We moved a number of games when we're asked, because of the opportunity to try to be on the national stage. And, we beat Kansas on an ESPN game on a Friday night. We beat Houston on a national stage game. There were a number of those things that we tried to move the date just because we knew that we were going to have a really good team, and we needed that exposure as a Group of 5 school to try to put ourselves in the footprint to be in the conversation towards the end of November where we ended up. So back to your original question with the bull, I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma, and so I was around rodeo my entire life. Now, not to be confused with, I never did any of that. So
You just went.
but I knew about it. And the movie years ago that came out, 8 Seconds. So Tuff Hedeman is in that movie, and he is a retired Hall of Fame bull rider. He's got a circuit now that travels around the country, and they were putting on an event in Vegas. And one of the guys, they had it at the South Point Casino. The general manager of South Point is a huge UNLV football donor, former quarterback there, and became a really close friend of mine. He called early, January, February, and I was trying to sign a quarterback, and there was a number of things going on. I was kind of halfway listening to the conversation and not. But he said, "Hey, we got the rodeo circuits coming through, and we want your involvement with the event, and we think we can sell the thing out, and we'll split the gate with you." And then at that point, I really started to listen, because our football program was always, we were trying to find ways to move our program forward. And I knew from a donation standpoint how much it would help our program. I'll do anything for my team. I mean, I will do anything. So he said, "Hey, Coach, we want you to ride a bull, and we don't worry about it. We'll put you on an old retired milk cow. You don't have to worry about it. No issues." And at first I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And then he told me the amount that he thought that UNLV football would receive because of me doing this. And I said, "Absolutely, I'll do it. You need the money." And so as the event got closer, we had started spring practice. We had practiced that Saturday morning, and then the event was that night. I got to the arena. We had a photo shoot with Tuff Hedeman and the fans and myself, and it was a great event up until it was the moment I had to go get on that bull. And I walked down into the chute, and they're like, "Coach, you're up in 4." So they're putting a vest on me. They're putting all these different things on, helmet, all this stuff. And I counted back, 4 different spots. I said, that is not the picture of the bull that you guys sent me that I was going to ride. And they had sent me, because I was a lot hesitant going into it. And they said, "No problem. Here's the bull you're riding. Send me a picture." Anyway, trying to build my confidence up leading into it. And then we got down in the moment of the event, and it was not what they sent me in the picture. So anyway, the bull I was supposed to ride tragically passed away. That's how old it was, on the way to the arena.
Oh my God!
So they got a substitute bull and put in there. I said, "Don't worry about it. It's a training bull. You'll be fine." And I think I lasted about 1.4 seconds, and that's gracious.
That was a long ride. That was a long one.
But I'm telling you, I got my butt kicked. But at the end of the day, UNLV football benefited from it, because financially we were able to split the gate, and it helped us continue to move our program forward.
What was the name of the bull?
Well, I was supposed to ride a bull named Willie, and then when I got in the chute, my last look up of the scoreboard, it was my name and face, UNLV football, and then the name of the bull that I actually attempted to ride that night was Widowmaker. So we traded Willie for Widowmaker.
That's awesome.
It went from Willie to
funny.
Widowmaker. If you go watch the video, it's on YouTube. You can easy Google search. Coach, you were a little wobbly getting up, staggering back to the gate. I thought you went in immediate. It looked like a concussion protocol.
I went. There was, I played linebacker at the University of Missouri in the mid '90s, and that's when Nebraska was rolling. And there were a number of guys, and my former teammates joked with me. It looked like, we were playing the Cornhuskers back in 95 or 96.
Man,
taking on a fullback every single play.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's done me pretty good. I'll do anything for my team. If you ever see that I am attempting to write a book, you know that
They're
that
broke.
come help me, because I did not agree to it.
They're broke.
If you see Coach Odom on a bull, their program's broke.
They're broke.
Yeah. Hey, you said Missouri, so I'm just going to go there. You played there, you coached there, you've coached here. What is it about this? I mean, Missouri continues to get the best of Arkansas. What do you think the deal is there?
Well, I think the question cut out a little bit, probably on my end. It's unique for me because I grew up in the state of Oklahoma and then went to the University of Missouri as a player. Coming out of high school, I wanted to come to Arkansas, and unfortunately, they didn't want me. So that's how that worked out. But I was there at the University of Missouri for a long time in a number of different roles and capacities, and our biggest rival during that time, that era, was University of Kansas. And I saw the emphasis that Coach Gary Pinkel put on that game and how important it was, not only to our program and success that we would have, but also to the fans and the donors and the state. And just when we won that game, we always had, really good years. And it also, you could feel how that changed the air around our program. So when I got the opportunity to be the head coach at Missouri, obviously we were in the SEC at that time, not the Big 12, and the rivalries had changed. And we knew, and I knew, what the importance, when I was at Missouri, the importance that, okay, number one, when I got the head coaching job, our number one goal in the program, and this sounds terrible now because I've lived both sides, but our number one goal was to beat Arkansas. And then it was to go to a bowl game to win a championship, and on down the line. But I just wanted to make such a huge emphasis to that because I saw the importance of it when I lived the other rivalry.
Interesting.
We also, and I threw it, probably to an unhealthy limit. I threw it at our players and our staff all the time about how important it was, and that was we were going to beat these guys. And then I thought we did a really good job recruiting the state of Arkansas when I was at Missouri. We had really, I'm going to miss out some guys. We had our starting running back, Damari Crockett, Akil Byer starting defensive end, defensive tackle, Taylor Powell starting quarterback, Barrett Bannister starting receiver, Markel Utze from Little Rock area was a starting defensive tackle for us. So there were some personal things in that as well with the way that our roster was built, and it worked out for us. I mean, we ended up, the 4 years I was there, we were 4-0, and I don't know that we always had the better team, but we found a way to win that game. So I mean, that was just my perspective on that side of it when I was the head coach there, and obviously I know as the years go, the rivalry is growing even more every single year, and I would assume that from here on till the end of time that the schools play each other, that it will become a really, really fierce rivalry game.
And then you came and coached here. Barry Odom's with us, by the way. We only have a minute or so left here, Coach, but you came here after coaching against Arkansas, and I know the relationship you and Coach Pittman have. But you come here, you still have a home here, you still visit here, and you said you wanted to play here. I mean, what is it about Arkansas, even though you were trying to beat our brains in all those years?
Well, I think, it was strange. In 2019, I was at Missouri still, beat Arkansas in Little Rock, and then the next day I was fired. Went 6-6, and, a number of reasons that went into that. But you look at the next opportunity, and then Coach Pittman got the Arkansas job. I've got so much respect for Coach, and he called and said, would you like, be interested in being the defensive coordinator? And I wanted to jump at the opportunity. I had a number of different opportunities during that time, but I think this place is special. I know it is. I grew a lot as a coach here for 3 years, and the people are just unbelievable. And over the years, every place we've gone, people have asked our kid. My wife and I've got 3 kids, and say, where is home? And really unsolicited, all 3 of them said, well, we're from Fayetteville. And I guess it was just really transformational, years that our kids were here. Such great friends, such great people, and we've kept our house here, kind of at a home base for our family. And again, I think it comes back to the passion, the energy of the fan base, and then the people. Some of our best friends of our entire lives together are still here in Fayetteville. So it's always been fun for us to have a chance to be involved. And then, I've still got family that lives in Oklahoma. My wife's got family that lives in Missouri. So it's kind of a central location as well. That's really we've ended up calling home.
Well, hey, it's great to have you on the show today. You've got fans here. We root for you from afar. We wish you the best at Purdue. And again, enjoy this short time that you have away from the football facility, and good luck in rebuilding that program, Coach. Thanks again for the time.
Thank you, Coach. Good to visit with you.
Thanks, guys.
Talk
have
soon.
A great week.
You bet. You bet. Barry Odom, Purdue head coach, former Arkansas defensive coordinator, head coach. I wish we had more time to talk about Memphis and what it was like when he was there, what Arkansas. Maybe we'll have another opportunity to do that because he has some experience in a place Arkansas will be going into this year in that venue as well. But we got to hit a break. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.